Good morning, students. The other day, I gave you some sort of introduction to John Donne, the Elizabethan poet, one of the major voices in the history of English literature. And I told you something about the type of poetry which he had been writing. And he is called a metaphysical poet, and it is said that he affects metaphysics even in his love poems, meaning thereby that that the style which he adopts for his love poetry, it resembles the style and the mood of the scholastics and scholastic philosophers of Middle Ages, and therefore he is called a metaphysical poet. Now, the first poem which is prescribed in your course is Go and Catch a Falling Star, which is a lyric written by John Donne. So, even in this poem, you will find argumentative mode of the poet, which reminds one of the metaphysical school. Now, here is a poem, Go and Catch a Falling Star. I told you something about the poem also, that the poem is a bit revolutionary in the sense that he gives totally a different idea and picture of womanhood itself in the poem when he says, Go and catch a falling star, get with child a mandrake road, tell me where all past years are, or who cleft the devil's foot. Teach me to hear mermaids singing, or to keep off envy's stinging, and find what wine serves to advance an honest mind. Now, the first and the second stanza, they deal with the most impossible things in the world, and he says that it is very difficult, or it is almost impossible to get such impossible things done. To attain them, it is very difficult, but more difficult and more impossible than these impossible things is to find a woman in the world who is both fair and faithful. Now, he begins the poem with an impossible thing when he says, Go and catch a falling star, get with child a mandrake road. It is impossible to catch a falling star, and it is very difficult to produce a human child from the root of a tree called mandrake. Because trees don't produce human beings, trees produce plants, they don't produce human beings, and therefore mandrake is the name of a tree. So, mandrake root cannot produce a human child, and a falling star cannot be caught. These are most impossible things. Tell me where all past years are, and no one in the world can tell where the past has gone to. So, years they slip by and we cannot catch them. Tell me where all past years are, or who cleft the devil's foot. It is said that the devil in Christian mythology, he has got hooves, not feet, and hooves are cleft from the middle, and therefore nobody can tell who is responsible for the foot of the devil which is cleft, or who cleft the devil's foot. Teach me to hear mermaids singing. Now, the poet says to the readers that teach me, tell me how the mermaids sing their songs. Mermaids are half woman and half fish. Mermaids. So teach me, these are all mythological things, these are all legendary things, folklore pertaining to folklore and legends. Teach me to hear mermaids singing, or keep off envy's stinging. And envy means jealousy. There is a difference between envy and jealousy. While jealousy is destructive, envy is constructive, or to keep off envy is stinging. But here, these two words they come very close, envy and jealousy, and he says that what are the reasons for one person to be jealous of others? So, if you can tell me all these things and find what wine serves to advance an honest mind, and honesty comes into human mind and soul through what wins. So, even these impossible things can be possible, but according to the poet, it is very difficult to find a woman who is both fair and faithful. If thou beest born to strange sights, things invisible to say, right in 1,000 days and nights, till age is no white hairs on thee. Thou, when thou returnest, will tell me all the strange wonders that befell thee, and swear nowhere lives a woman true and fair. Now, here he gives you the exact idea, the basic idea behind the poem, for which this poem is written, the core line that it is very difficult to find a woman who is both beautiful and faithful, because if thou beest born to strange sights, things invisible to see, it is possible. He is addressing the readers that it is possible that you might be traveling the whole of the globe and you might be experiencing and encountering strange sights, mysterious things, miracles in your life. If thou beest born to strange sights, things invisible to say, right 10,000 days and nights till age is no, and then you have been roaming around for years and years together till you grow old and you grow grey hairs on your head, till age is no white hairs on thee, thou when thou returnest. So the whole world is full of ladies and women who are beautiful, but they are not faithful. So it is very difficult to find a woman. It is almost impossible to find a woman who is both beautiful and also loyal and faithful to her lovers. All the strange wonders that befell thee and swear, nowhere lives a woman true and fair. So beauty and faithfulness, they do not go together as far as women folk are concerned, according to the poet. Remember this thing. If thou findest one, let me know. Such a pilgrimage were sweet. Now, in case you happen to find such a lady, this is what the poet says to the readers, that in case you happen to find a woman who is faithful and who is beautiful at the same time, such a pilgrimage, the house of that lady would be a kind of a pilgrimage for the poet to visit. Such a pilgrimage were sweet, yet do not. I would not go, and then he decides not to go, because though at next door we might meet, though she were true when you met her, and laugh till you write your letter, yet she will be false ere I come to 2 or 3. Now, this woman whom you find faithful and beautiful at the same time, this woman can be true only for the time being, only for a moment or so, for a day or so. Otherwise, when you come back to her, when you return to her, it is possible that you may find her to be false, to be unfaithful, and she might have deceived a number of persons before you come. So, this is what the poem is. Remember, for Donne, a poem is a mood, and as such, I'm not defending John Donne as a poet, but it is a fact that a poem is a mood, and it is in a peculiar mood, in a strange mood, that Donne gave this idea that it is very difficult to find a woman who is faithful and beautiful together. It is very difficult to find beauty and faithfulness or loyalty going together. So, this is in a different mode that the poet has given this poem. He has written this sort of poem and he has given you this idea. So, thank you very much for today. Tomorrow I may take up another poem. Thank you.